This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Following program is rated MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. So let's talk about it, because today is Wednesday, which makes it Whipping Out Wednesday, August the 13th of 2025. Day 225th of the year, and only 140 days left to go. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, yes, hanging out always at radiobig.fm and over there on Safety FM, because, you know, we do a combination of things as we are hanging out and all that kind of fun stuff. So how have you been? How's the last 24 hours been? What is the latest? You know, what is the greatest and all that kind of stuff? Because we need to talk about it. We need to talk about everything that's going on. That's how our news cycles work. Anyways, we talk about safety in the news and safety. That's kind of what we do here. I give you a little bit of everything that's going on. Some people sometimes get hung up of, it's not on. Oh, hold on.
It's not only a safety show, okay? We need it to only be about safety. It is called the Rated R Safety Show. So why isn't it safety only?
And, you know, we have to talk about other stuff. And the reason we talk about other stuff is because this way you have the opportunity to talk to your crew, your teams, and so on about other things that are going on inside of the multiverse. And then we kind of get to the safety stuff. That's how it's structured, man. That's kind of how it is. So that's the whole reasoning behind it. Okay, so safety in the news and safety. We discussed that. If you want to interact with the show, go to callinradio.com. Callinradio.com. And I'll get everything moving and grooving for you. Seriously, that's just kind of the realistic side of the whole thing. You get there? Video, audio, text messaging, simplest fashion of doing everything as we are speaking. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and start talking about what the hell was trending in the overnight?
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's start talking about it right away. Let's talk about notable and noteworthy. The latest big tech company, Elon Musk, is taking on, so we'll talk about that. If you haven't heard it, we'll go through it. Also, Jimmy Kimmel flaunts his Italian citizenship. We'll talk about that. And Mick Taylor has beef with the Mets. And what else? A Dance Bro is out for season of DWTS. That's Dancing with the Stars. I shouldn't know that, but I do. We'll talk about details about that inside of the casting calls. And also a former royal advisors has choice words for Prince Harry's. We'll talk about that in the deets. Yes, in the details inside of the royals. Yeah. Some people go, you don't, a lot of the stuff you talk about at the top of the hour, in hour one, you don't ever discuss. Well, keep in mind, this is a 3-hour show. Let me explain. Hour one is on video and on podcasting. Everything else is live streamed across the radio stations, and there are some video streams. But that's only in the first hour. But hour 2 and 3 is live streamed on Radio Big, as I discussed at the end of the thing. So that's why, some of the stories don't make it onto here, because they're still going on throughout the whole 3-hour seg. So that's why. Anyways, with that being said, I got some people here from Feature Story News that want to tell you what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Brussels, I'm William Denslow. US President Donald Trump set to hold virtual talks with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders. It comes as they seek to defend their security interests ahead of the US President's planned summit with his Russian counterpart on Friday, for what the White House says will be a one-on-one talk in the city of Anchorage. Kate Fisher reports from Washington.
Ukraine will not be present at Friday's talks, but Mr. Trump will speak to President Volodymyr Zelensky beforehand, along with European leaders. They'll be trying to ensure that Ukraine and European security are central to any discussions with President Putin. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt framed it as a listening exercise.
As the president has said over and over again, his strong preference will always be for peace and partnership, whenever those outcomes can possibly be achieved.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov have spoken on the phone to make preparations for the meeting, which the State Department says was first requested by President Putin.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has held a phone call with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un to brief him on the war in Ukraine ahead of that planned meeting with the US President. Laura Westbrook reports.
The North Korean state news agency said that during the phone call on Tuesday, Russian President Vladimir Putin thanked North Korean leader Kim Jong-un for supporting his war on Ukraine. The two leaders also vowed to strengthen cooperation in the future. Kim has emerged as a key ally of Putin and his war in Ukraine, helping boost Moscow's fighting presence on the ground. North Korea has sent thousands of troops to Russia's Kursk region.
Hamas is holding talks with Egyptian officials in Cairo Wednesday as mediators work to develop a new framework for ceasefire talks. Meanwhile, Israel's Prime Minister has confirmed that his focus is now on a comprehensive deal to free all hostages at once. Blake Sifton reports from Tel Aviv.
Hamas has confirmed that its chief negotiator is in Cairo for talks this week aimed at reviving ceasefire negotiations with Israel after talks broke down last month. The Israeli offensive to seize Gaza City is expected to begin in October, and that looming operation is said to have created renewed urgency among ceasefire mediators to reach a breakthrough during the 2-month window before Israel launches its assault. Prime Minister Netanyahu confirmed in an interview on Tuesday that he is now focused on a comprehensive deal with Hamas that includes the release of all remaining hostages, rather than partial ceasefires for the release of groups of hostages.
And India and China are preparing to restart direct passenger flights as soon as next month, the first in more than 5 years. The move signals a cautious step towards normalising relations after pandemic closures and a sharp downturn in ties following a deadly border clash in 2020. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. And so Australia becomes the latest industrialised democracy to announce plans to recognise Palestinian statehood. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, following the lead of France, Canada and the UK, says that the United Nations General Assembly next month will be the venue for his country's recognition of Palestine to take place.
Australia has been in lockstep with the United States when it comes to foreign policy since World War II. This is the first big deviation.
Amy Ramikis is contributing editor for The New Daily in Australia.
Domestically, the Albanese government could no longer ignore the groundswell of calls for action for Australia to tangibly do something to stop what is happening in Palestine. We had a very big protest in the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Up to 300,000 people crossed that bridge calling on the government to take action to stop genocidal acts. And lo and behold, not so long afterwards, the Albanese government shifted its position to say we would be recognising statehood, where previously they had said that they were holding their cards close to their chest until they could find the moment where they would have the most impact.
The country's opposition coalition remains fervently behind Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and says it will reverse recognition whenever it returns to power. Opposition leader Susan Ley said any recognition of Palestine should only occur at the end of a full peace process. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
FSN is an independent source of news for TV, radio and digital networks worldwide. You can find more of our minute-by-minute updates on Twitter. Follow us there at Feature Story. And we have a wealth of audio and video stories from our global news bureaus on Facebook. You can find us there by following Feature Story News. Stay tuned for further updates right here. But for now, that's the latest Feature Story News. William Denslow reporting.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and were not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
Is there safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Prepare yourself.
We are now being distributed on iHeartRadio. Listen on iHeartRadio app. Radio Big.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, okay, here we go. You know, that kind of fun stuff. You know, that's the stuff to do. No doubt about that. So let's go ahead and get into some news cycle stuff, because that is what happens on these lovely days as we are talking. So let's do this. Elon Musk wants to sue Apple. Yep. The billionaire alleges that Apple is intentionally suppressing X and AI chatbox Grok from ranking higher in its app store. In a post on X, Musk wrote, "Apple's behaving in a manner that makes it impossible for any AI company besides OpenAI to reach number one in their app store, which is unequivocally antitrust violation. XAI will make an immediate legal action." XAI is Musk's artificial intelligence startup that integrated with Twitter and turned X earlier this year. Musk has been, Musk has had a beef with OpenAI for years, well before it rolled out ChatGPT in 2022. He co-founded the organization as a nonprofit back in 2015, but left the board in 2018 concerned about the dangers of AI it poses on humanity if it's not properly developed. This is all according to Elon Musk, at Elon Musk on X. So there you go. We'll see what happens there. Taking on one of the largest companies in the world, but the richest man in the world is doing it. So we'll see how that works there. Also, proudly delivering a wrenched customer experience. Yep. The already stressful adventure that air travel might not be working out so great for Spirit Airlines. The discount carrier announced this week that it might not make it for another 12 months as a result of fewer bookings and decreasing cash on hand balance. The announcement followed a budget-cutting measures last month, included laying off 270 pilots and demoting another 140. Just last March, the airline completed a Chapter 11 debt restructuring process, which culminated in the company's lenders taking ownership. Yeah, that doesn't sound too promising. I know. I'm not trying to put salt on the wound, but man, think about that real quick. I would be kind of hesitant, personally, about getting any airline tickets through an airline that's going through that kind of issue. Seriously, because you don't know if, you're going to go to the airport and be like, voila, your flight was canceled. Not for a few hours or delayed. It was canceled indefinitely.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. Here's trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, I think I have a friend that their sister goes to Texas all the time on that airline. I don't know. It's interesting. Okay, anyways, a study of the University of Edinburgh suggests that Alzheimer's disease also affects cats, which can exhibit similar symptoms and those of humans affected by the condition. Cats suffering from dementia show confusion, sleep disruption, and increased amount of meowing. Their brain chemistry appears to be affected similarly to the human ones, too. Researchers hope that studying the conditions that it can help develop treatment for humans. What about for cats? Did we read that part? I mean, the story started off about cats, and then we went to the human side. Weird. But I guess that happens. This is according to the Daily Mail, so now you know where that came from. Take a listen to this. American teen influencer Ethan Guo, aiming to be the youngest to fly solo to all 7 continents, has been stranded in southern Chile since June after illegally landing in his Cessna 182Q. He provided false flight plan data to the Chilean authorities leaders to an investigation. Initially, he was charged with providing false information and an unauthorized landing. Guo reached an agreement to donate $30,000 to a Children's Cancer Foundation to avoid trial. He must also leave Chile, and the conditions allow and is banned from returning for 3 years. Guo has been staying at a military base in Antarctica and unable to fly his plane due to the conditions and severe winter weather. He is awaiting approval to depart and continue his fundraising mission for cancer research. Worth noting, Guo is 19 when he began the trek, and since then has turned 20. Well, I hope so, because if he would have jumped a year or two, that would have been a little bit confusing. Like, I always love when somebody's like, how old are you? 47, going on 48. Oh, I didn't know if it was a leap year or something, something out of the ordinary. What kind of answer is that? And then at what point do you drop the 47 and a half, 47 and 3/4, 47 in almost the next year? You know what I'm talking about. Not that anybody really brags about being 47. Just saying for context here. Just information. Okay, anyways, take a listen to this. The Big Bang in 2002, NASA's intern Thad Roberts and his girlfriend of the 3 weeks, also a NASA intern, stole 17-pound moon rocks and meteorites so that they could have sex on the moon. The heist involved swiping NASA's badges, rewiring security cameras, and a neoprene bodysuit to avoid detection, and it took NASA several days to notice the missing 601-pound safe containing the estimated $21 million worth of moon rocks from every lunar landing from 1969 to 1972. The couple, along with 2 accomplices, were caught on July the 20th of 2002 as the 33rd anniversary of the moonwalk by the undercover agents posing as buyers. Roberts pleaded guilty and served 6 years and 6 years of an 8-year sentence, while his girlfriend was given 180 days of house arrest, 150 hours of community service, and 3-year probation and $9,000 restitution to NASA. Sadly, the recovered moon rocks were deemed useless to scientific community after they were removed and laid on. The entire saga is documented on Ben Mentrick's book, Sex on the Moon. This is according to the Economic Times. So hold on. So Thad Roberts and his girlfriend of 3 weeks, unnamed, which is kind of genius, stole 17 pounds worth of moon rocks for they could have sex on them? For they could say that they had sex on the moon? Oh, I have so many stories that I could probably go through about dumb shit like that, but I'm just pretty sure that some people would not be too excited about me talking about this. Anyway, so take a listen to this. Actress Danielle Spencer has died. Spencer is best known for playing Dee Thomas on What's Happening in the 70s. Her co-star, Haywood Nelson, announced that Spencer's passing on Tuesday, indicating that she died from cancer. She was only 60 at the time of passing. Kind of crazy times there, for sure. Let's talk about this one real quick. Ashley Biden has filed for divorce. The daughter of former President Joe Biden didn't directly address the split on Monday on Instagram post, but she did share the quote, "New life, new beginning means new boundaries, new ways of being that won't look or sound like they did before." She did marry Dr. Howard Krein, a plastic surgeon, back in 2012. So there you go. Some stuff going on right there. Okay, let's go ahead and get
into the swamp.
A former aide for Representative Adam Schiff has told the FBI that Schiff approved of leaking classified information damaging President Trump in 2017 to lay the groundwork for future indictment. When the whistleblower told Schiff doing so would be illegal, the staffer was assured they wouldn't be caught. In an ironic twist, Schiff's office says that the intelligence source is of unknown reliability, and that the claims are not ultimately substantiated. But wait, the intelligence sources of known reliability and ultimately unsustained claims were the entire foundation of the years-long investigation of the impeachment of Trump and the first term, as proven to be the recent documents of disclosure. There you go, just telling you what the editor said. So if it stands and good enough to impeach a president, it sure as hell should be good enough to kick Schiff out of the Congress and put him on trial. What do you think? I don't know. I never know about any of these stuff. I just tell you what I see and go, what are we talking about here? No doubt. So there you go. Okay, so Doge has awfully quiet lately, but the team continues to make government more efficient. Social Security Commissioner Frank Bisignano says the agency's website is frequently down for nearly 30 hours a week before Trump took office. Now it's up 100% of the time. Okay, so let's talk about that. How is it up 100% of the time? 100% of the time since what time? Because if I told you, hey, our radio station has been live streaming, I have been going live 100% of the time over the last 26 minutes, well, I'm at the 26-minute mark. So yeah, that would make perfectly good sense. So I need timelines, not just percentage times. We had a incremental increase by 20%. 20% of what? I mean, that's the crazy thing that nobody ever really tends to answer. They want to talk in percentages. Okay, take a listen to this. Local media in Texas reported on Tuesday afternoon that Democrats on the to avoid the vote redistricting will head home soon. According to the report, we know that Democrats believe that they've accomplished their mission by killing the first special session and by raising national awareness about the mid-decade redistricting effort. So there you go. Be interesting to see what's going on there for sure. Okay, let's talk about the Dow because some people are going to care about this. The Dow gained 483 points to close at 44,458 on Tuesday, and the S&P ticked up by 72 points to close at 6,445. The NASDAQ gained 296 points to close at 21,681, and West Texas Intermediate closed at $63 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $66 a barrel. Okay, the national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.14 on Tuesday, and Bitcoin gained on the day over about 1%, so it was just under $120,000. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $526 million jackpot or a $241 million cash payout. So if you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. So there you go. Okay, so let's talk about this because, some people will want to know. Because this is what goes on. Showbiz news. Taylor Swift announced her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl, at 12:12 a.m. on August the 12th. The following the announcement, the Empire State Building lit up in orange, which is the theme of the latest era. Swift will also appear on today's episode of her boyfriend Travis Kelce's new Heist podcast, and there she's excited to share some details. So, if you're interested in that, good for you. I'm just telling you. There's a couple of songs that are all right. I listen. I'm not going to say that, I'm a Swiftie or whatever the hell they call them. Okay, take a listen to this. Jimmy Kimmel says that he is considering taking advantage of his newly acquired Italian citizenship and leaving the U.S. behind. He shared the tidbit at an appearance on his ex-girlfriend Sarah Silverman's podcast while discussing how bad of a job he believes President Donald Trump is doing. No word whether Kimmel's wife and kids also got the Italian citizenship. So there you go. Some stuff going on as always.
Duh.
Okay, a guitar once played by two members of the Rolling Stone is at the center of the dispute between guitarist Mick Taylor and the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The 1959 Gibson Les Paul was donated to the Met from billionaire investor Dirk Ziff to be part of an exhibit. 500 of the finest guitars from the golden age of American guitar making. While announcing the donation, Taylor thought that he'd recognize the Gibson as the same one that he gifted Keith Richards and last saw back in 1971. The Met says that there's no evidence the guitar was ever in Taylor's possession, though ownership records prove that it did once belong to Richards, who played it during the band's first appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show back in 1964. Taylor, who says that he got it from Richards in 1967, 2 years before joining the Stones, now wants an independent guitar expert to check it out. That sounds like a lot of stuff about a guitar. I mean, think about it for a moment. So there you go. Anyway, take a listen to this. Machine Gun Kelly believes that he could be part alien. He explained that during a appearance of Watch What Happens Live, telling host Andy Cohen that he doesn't know his age and has a rapidly healing skin. I don't know if it's my age. I don't know if it exists, he said in response of being complimented on his youthful appearance. I just don't know how many facts about my life, like my skin. It rips opens and it heals really quick. When jokingly asked if he was from another planet, MGK said that he recalls his mom telling him that she got abducted at one point. So there's that. Okay, that took a little strange turn there. No doubt about that. Okay, take a listen to this. Nothing says gal pals like a mutual ex. Jennifer Aniston admitted in a recent interview that she and Gwyneth Paltrow still gossip about their mutual ex, Brad Pitt. Oh, of course. How can we not? We're girls, she quipped. They also discuss other topics such as healthy eating and beautiful brands. Yeah, there you go. Some stuff going on right there as we are talking. I mean, that's interesting. Like, I know it's going to get weird by me saying this, but is it like a note comparison type of thing? I mean, I'm just kind of wondering. So there you go. Okay, what else do we got real quick? Okay, Madeleine Ackerman says that he channeled First Lady Melania Trump for her role in the Netflix series The Hunting Wives. She also plays Margot, a manipulative affair-having politician's wife. Ackerman told that the series creative team described Margot as a bit like Melania Trump, someone who came into the marriage to a rich man as a one woman and then finds the expectations for her to be shifted once he becomes a political ambitious. So there you go. What else? The show also stars Brittany Snow, Chrissy Metz, Paul Teal, just to name a few. Also, speaking of first couple, UFC head honcho Dana White confirmed that the MMA fight will take place at the White House lawn next July the 4th, and it sounds like it might be airing on CBS. So we'll have to take a look for that. Anyways, 32 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's get into our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, nothing gets me more excited than main story time. And all right, you know that when we do this, let's go ahead and piss some people off today. Because that's what we do. We need to talk about human and organizational performance, or HOP for short, according to some. Not the LinkedIn-friendly hashtag-loaded version. I mean the real deal. Like the real deal Holyfield type of thing. And the thing that was supposed to change how we see safety, performance, and even leadership, well, that's the problem. I don't know. When I keep seeing it, maybe you've seen it too. It's that a lot of folks have adopted the language of hop without ever adapting the thinking of hop. You know what I'm talking about here. I mean, let's not lie. People are familiar with this. So let's start off with the misconception factory first, because I think that's going to be important. Let's start with the most common myth. Hop is just stop blaming the worker. You've heard it. Sounds nice, right? I mean, I think it does. Put it on a poster, slap it on the lunchroom, and poof, you're a hop organization. But in reality, if you're the version of hop that stops don't blame, you don't have to actually change anything. You just muted the blame, turned down the volume, but the same system still plays. In other words, you look at the static, but put the filter on it. But the signal, the real understanding, there's still not enough coming through. Seriously, think about this real quick. And then, the next thing, the language trap, because that's the one that I enjoy the most. Here's where it gets really tricky. Organizations are getting too good about talking about hop. They throw out phrases like error is normal, learning organization, let's build some capacity. But they still are running the same operational playbook from the 1980s. Same top-down decision-making, and same check-the-box safety program. Same obsession with counting things instead of understanding them. And it's like, learning all the words of a foreign language but never leaving your hometown, and then you sound different, but nothing about your world actually changes. I know. Some people are not going to be happy. And then the wallpaper problem. You know what I'm talking about? Let's borrow the metaphor from my book, Safety in My Opinion. Imagine your organization as a house. Hop is supposed to be the remodel, maybe even a rebuild. But instead of fixing the foundation, most places just slap new wallpaper over the cracks. They call it innovation because the wallpaper says error is normal in big, bold letters. And guess what? The cracks are still there. The house is still shifting, and the people inside it are still working around the problems instead of solving them. Does that sound familiar? What about the distortion effect? One of the big ideas that we talk about in Signal is that distortion isn't just noise, it's organized noise. It's the stuff that we choose to focus on because it's familiar, comfortable, and easy to measure. Hop, when it gets distorted, becomes exactly that. We measure participation in learning teams instead of whether those teams changed anything. We count on how many leaders took hop training instead of how many leaders actually lead differently. We think we were hearing the signal, but really it's just noise dressed up in nicer clothes. You know what I'm talking about? I know. Just some weirdness here this morning in regards to talking about this. And why does this happen? Well, why does it happen? Maybe that is the real question. This is the two big reasons that I've kind of acknowledged over the last little bit. Fear of real change and redesigning how an organization thinks and operates is uncomfortable. It challenges powers and structures, and speed addiction. Leaders want quick wins. They want that 90-day transformation, but hop isn't that spin. It isn't that culture shift like that. So they pick the easy parts, change the vocabulary, make a nice PowerPoint. And let's hope that no one notices that the actual system hasn't changed. I'm telling you, I get to deal with organizations and see this shit all the time. There is no doubt. So let's talk about that quick signal check. So how would you know if you're getting the real signal and not just noise? Ask these questions. This might be the easiest way to go about this. Are your conversations about work really happens, or are they just about how work is supposed to happen? When something goes wrong, do you fix the system or just remind people of the rule? Are you more interested in capacity or control? If the honors answers make you uncomfortable, good, because that's the point. That's the point of the whole thing, as we are talking, no doubt there. Also, let's talk about this, bringing it back to the worker. The irony is that hop works the way that it should. The workers does benefit, but not because we stop blaming them. They benefit because the system around them is actually learning, adapting, and supporting the real way that work is done. The signal becomes clear. We see patterns, the pinch points, and then the hidden workarounds, and they build capacity before they hit failure. So, and some other things. So what are the takeaways here from this main story? If you're doing HOP without redesigning your system, you're not really doing HOP. You're doing HOP Light, and that's LITE. You know, the sugar-free version, the zero-calorie version. It might make you feel better in short term, but you're just not really nourishing anything. What you need to do is find the signal, strip away the distortion, stop wallpapering over the cracks and rebuilding the house. Because if you can't hear the real transmission, you're just another station playing the same old static. Think about that real quick. It's going to take you places that you probably didn't expect, and hopefully you're not too pissed about it.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder's smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
We are radio. We are sarcasm. We are both combined. Radio Big.
Oh my dear, I wish it wasn't so. It seems that now you have to go. I hid in this place until the day I can come take you. Even in all the pain, did try. The moon bleeds bloodshot, red eyes. Just move and sway.
Okay, here we go. 45 minutes past the top of the hour. Yeah, this one right here, song name is Moonlight. Artist, Free the People. And you are still listening to the Rated R Safety Show. A lot of stuff going on inside of this multiverse, baby. Yep. A lot of stuff going on inside of this world. This song right here is readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. All you have to do is look up Free the People. Song titled Moonlight. We would like to thank Free the People for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Do-do-do. Yep, ladies and gents, let's go ahead and get back into some other information. Let's talk about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there's going to be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Okay, let's continue talking about some other things. Slumber in numbers. For most people, falling asleep is a slow process. It takes about 40 minutes from the lights out to dreamland. A survey of 2,000 people found, in the U.S. found, that while you start winding down around 10:15, you get to bed about 10:36, and they actually nod off about 11:18. Nearly half said that they wake up several times a week wishing that they had gone to bed earlier. The biggest delays come from unfinished chores, 29%, but 21% said that they stay up later than they should because late night are their favorite times of day, while 15% admitted that they stay up late simply to avoid starting the next workday. And the end result, a nightly cycle where the intentions are derailed by laundry, lingering to-do list, and the irresistible pull off a little bit more time. Yep. For me, bedtime, 10:36. Sleep time is whenever my brain stops replaying every dumb thing I've ever said. And chores can wait. Scrolling until my eyes burn out is normally what takes place for most people. I'm just saying. Okay, take a listen to this. Carpool karaoke. Yeah. Montreal-based String Gray Group believes in car karaoke poised to become the next must-have feature in vehicles worldwide. CEO Eric Boyko says that every car will soon have it, tapping into the singing together while on the road, already supplying karaoke systems to Tesla, Ford, Audi, and BYD. Stingray expects $10 million in sales from the segment this year. In a recent purchase, Singing Machine adds exclusive microphones, pitch correction, and vast karaoke catalog to the mix. The vision is to turn the ordinary commutes into sing-alongs, making karaoke as common as Bluetooth. With talks underway with multiple automakers, Stingray plans to bundle playlists, radios, and podcasts, aiming to be the go-to in-car entertainment provider. And as big as their plans make the dashboard duets the next global driving trend, because you didn't dread family road trips enough already. They can make cars with pitch correction, but not parking correction. Isn't that interesting when it's all said and done? Think about that for a moment. How distracted will drivers be trying to make sure that they get the lyrics right? And I don't know if you've been inside of a Tesla that has the car karaoke thing. You can only do it when you're parked, because you know some people are going to want to do this when they're driving. It's just kind of the way that it goes. That's what happens. Anyways, with that being said, let's talk about something a little bit more positive, and let's bring some John Smalls into our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Ollie. Anne Frank said, "How wonderful is it that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world?" So true. Her story is a sad one, but also an amazing peek into the mind of an amazing young lady. And she's 100% right, too. You don't need to wait to make the world better. You might not be able to change the whole world today, but you can change the world for someone today if you buy a meal for someone who's hungry, or you help someone with yard work that needs to be done. You could even start with something simple like a friendly smile and a word of encouragement. Is it world-changing? Well, it might be for them.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. As parents, our primary responsibility is to nurture and discipline of our children. When discipline is administered consistently and balanced with unconditional love, it teaches our children respect for God's authority and for the authority of those He has placed over them. When parents refuse to discipline their children for disrespectful and destructive behavior, they teach them to disregard authority and the rights of others. Proverbs 29 says, "A rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother." Lord, parenting isn't easy, and balancing love and discipline is a constant challenge. Grant us special wisdom and strength. Help us to be the kind of parents our children need. In your holy name I pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at OneMinuteDevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
A Ukrainian drone attack in Russia's Nizhny Novgorod region has left one person dead and 2 others injured.
The strike targeted industrial zones, causing unspecified damage, as reported by the regional governor. Russia's defense ministry stated that 39 Ukrainian drones were intercepted over several regions, including Crimea, which Russia annexed in 2014. The attack came ahead of a summit in Alaska, where Russian President Vladimir Putin will discuss a potential peace deal with U.S. President Donald Trump. Lawrence Keller reporting.
The Israeli military conducted an airstrike airstrike in Gaza, killing 5 Al Jazeera journalists, including prominent correspondent Anas al-Sharif, outside Al-Shifa Hospital.
The attack targeted a media tent, prompting Al Jazeera to condemn it as an attempt to silence reporting on Gaza. Funerals were held today for the journalists, whose deaths add to the 238 journalists killed in Gaza over the past 22 months, according to local officials. Chris Anderson reporting.
In Sudan, 63 people have died from malnutrition in the city of El Fasher in northern Darfur, as reported by a regional health official.
The city remains under siege by the UAE-backed Rapid Support Forces, escalating the humanitarian crisis. The death toll is likely higher, as the figure only accounts for those who reached hospitals. The ongoing conflict between the Rapid Support Forces and Sudan's army since 2023 has severely limited access to aid. Benjamin Wright reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
A United Airlines flight from Washington, D.C. to Munich declared a Mayday emergency due to engine failure shortly after takeoff.
The Boeing 787 safely returned to the airport to address the mechanical issue. No injuries were reported among the passengers or crew. The incident has raised concerns about aviation safety, prompting an investigation by federal authorities. United Airlines is cooperating with officials to determine the cause of the engine malfunction. Liam White reporting.
A California wildfire has grown to nearly 120,000 acres, triggering air quality alerts across large swaths of the United States.
The blaze, fueled by dry conditions, has prompted federal emergency response coordination. Updated evacuation orders are in place as firefighting efforts intensify. The air quality alerts affect millions, with health officials warning of respiratory risks. Climate assessments highlight the increasing severity of wildfire seasons. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The Trump administration has removed the IRS commissioner following a dispute over tax data used to locate undocumented immigrants.
The Department of Homeland Security requested information on tens of thousands of suspected undocumented individuals, but the IRS verified less than 3% of the names. The White House sought additional data, which the IRS declined to provide, leading to the commissioner's dismissal. The decision has sparked controversy over immigration enforcement tactics. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
If you ever wished that Facebook had a suck it button, you suck! This rock block is for you.
Okay, so there you go. 55 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2019, the World Health Organization reveals the measles cases have tripled worldwide. There's also 364,800 cases reported that year compared to 129,239 back in 2018. That happened back in 2019. So there you go. Let's talk about some birthdays going on today. Freya Maver turns 32. DeMarcus Cousins turns 35. Demetrius Johnson turns 39. Sebastian Stan and Sarah Huckabee Sanders both turn 43. Karen Jean-Pierre turns 51. Debbie Mazar, 61. John Saltry turns 63. Betsy King, 70. Gretchen Cobert turns 78. And Janet Yelling turned 79 today, if you're looking at some birthdays. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, National Filet Mignon Day and Left-Handers Day. So there you go. That's a couple of things for you to celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. Let's see. If you are wanting to look at a rando ando for today, if you need a rando ando joke, of course I have one of those for you. No one is ever more surprised than a husband hearing about his wife's plans for the second time. So there you go. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What celeb's death during your lifetime hits you the hardest? If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. 23% of us do this for our pets monthly. What is it? Cook a meal for them. So there you go. That's something different, I think. Anyways, before I forget, Conklin Conference coming up less than a month away. Santa Fe, New Mexico, September the 9th through the 11th. Going on. There is a QR code on the screen. We will be talking about the world of human and organizational performance. Todd Conklin will be there, Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Jen T. Long, Andrea Baker, Mark Yeston, and I'll be there in a hosting capacity. If you want to find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live events. So there you go. Okay, well, that's going to sum up our time together. Thanks for hanging out with me on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. No doubt about that. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. At the top of the hour, I'll be going over to radiobig.fm if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If not, you can stay here with Sheldon Primus talking about the world of safety consulting. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to swim. That's for sure. That's something to think about. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye. No, like seriously, goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.